Good morning, everyone. It's early today, isn't it? What an early one for me. It is 5 to 11 UK time, so I thought I'd come on and say hello to you. I did put a little note well, a couple of posts to tell people that I'm coming on early, so hopefully there'll be a few to talk to me. Please feel free to come and say hello. If it's your first time, come and have a few, come and have a little chat with me. I'm just going to adjust my light a little bit, that's better. Um, Kind of chat. We go just to catch up everything that's going on at the moment, football, around the club, all sorts of stuff like that. So it would be good to hear from you if you're around. Let's see how many people we've got kicking about. There's only a few people around at the moment. It is early, I understand that it's early in the UK. So if we don't get much interaction, I'm just going to do this podcast and we'll see how we get on with it. Um, but yeah, it's midweek. We've got a game coming up on Saturday away to Hull City, who are having a good season themselves. And I think, luckily for us, they're in a position where they need to win this game to stay in that sixth position. They're 4 points clear of Wrexham at the moment, courtesy of us, and I'm sure they want to try and extend that to a bit more if they can. But what I say it's a good news is we know they're going to have to come out and come at us. They can't play around. Hull City are a pretty attractive team. They do like to play the possession game the way we do, the 4-2-3-1, which I'm going to talk about in a minute as well. Um, so hopefully, we're going to have an open game on Saturday. John Farmer's saying good morning to me. How you doing, John? Uh, John Asquith, hi Steve, up the Blues. The Ducks being a very selfish boy, I assume he will be off now. Well, I mean, we can't, avoid it and pretend it hasn't happened. He has been, he's put himself in a very, very difficult position. Steve Donnelly's on. Good morning, Steve. Um, the reason we don't want it, we're not really focusing on it much in the group is that, people are just saying the same thing over and over again. And then people put stupid, jokes about it. It's not a funny thing. I mean, uh, I he has a responsibility to the club and to the supporters. He's a role model. He can't afford to do that. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. He was just stupid. I don't know what happened. People are asking, well, like he got from the Ipswich game, how did he manage to have a drink? Well, you only need to have two drinks, and you're over the limit, aren't you? So he also said he had a crash. Well, he's used to driving on the left-hand side of the road, on the right-hand side of the road, not the left. And I know how difficult it is. I'm used to driving on the right, and if I come to UK, it's really confusing sometimes to drive on the left. So if he's had a drink, if it's in the dark, it's easy to hit a parked car or something. Judging distances is different. I'm not making excuses for him. Personally, I think this is something that the club. It's completely down to the club. Whether or not the supporters are going to be happy if he stays, I think it was the end of Dion Sanderson when he got done for DD. But it puts the club in. It's going to sound a little bit. It's going to sound a little bit nasty in a way. This, but if the club look at him now and ask themselves, are they glad they signed him? Nothing to do with the with the drink drive, just the way he's played. Are they happy with the money they paid for him? Are they happy with the wages that they're paying him? And if the answer is no, they can cancel his contract. He's brought the club into disrepute. That is in his contract that he cannot do that. He has done it, and Blues now have a very easy way out of that contract if they wish to take it. Angus is saying good morning to me. Um, Rainy in London again. Is it, mate? It's so we've got like a really nice early summer here. It's at the moment it's 20 degrees. We're going up to 26 today. And the next couple of weeks is going to be brilliant. My daughter's coming over tomorrow for a couple of weeks. It's my birthday on Sunday, so she's come to see me for my birthday, which is nice. Birthdays are no big deal to me. I don't make much of them, to be honest. And Sunday morning, more importantly, we're having a nice live. Well, we don't know whether I'm going to go live. We could put it on YouTube and go live, or we can put it onto Zoom, and then we can premiere it an hour later, and you can watch it like that. we're going to see. But we're going to give everyone the option of joining in by putting the joining numbers out into the group later in the week. So all you do is you just click the link or click the numbers in, and you're actually in the studio with us and you can speak one to one. This week we've got a really nice special guest, Emma Miller, who is the niece of the one and only legend Geoff Hall. It's a fascinating story, Geoff's story. Played for England 27 times. Went to Wembley with Blues. Absolutely fantastic right back, and he was big friends with Stanley Matthews, and a couple of his friends were killed on the Munich air disaster, and then a few months later, I think he died in '58. I think how he contracted polio, how their family reacted to it, right up to the current day, where at the moment we're trying to locate the Geoff Hall memorial clock, which I think we managed to do. We'll probably give you a bit more news on that at the weekend. And she's had a few issues with the grave, Geoff's grave, which is in Yorkshire. We'll explain it to you on Sunday if she wants to talk about that, but there have been some issues with that, so sort of surrounding the club in a way. So we've got a lot to talk about. It's going to be an absolutely fascinating hour, probably longer. We're not going to cut it to an hour like we do usually. We're going to let this one run, and we're going to see what happens. So that's going to be brilliant, And if any of you, by the way, have seen Geoff Hall play at any point, feel free to just direct message me, and we'll put you into the discussion with us live. That would be really nice. Emma would love to hear from anyone that's actually seen her uncle play, because he's not. She didn't actually live to see Geoff play. She never met him, but her and her young daughter Tabitha are the only two remaining members of the Hall family. So I think that's going to be really nice. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Yeah, I've got an early finish today. I thought what I'd do was, because my daughter's coming over with my ex-missus, no animosity there or nothing, and they're staying at my house. I thought a little bit of a clean would be in order, so we've cancelled clients for today. I've done a couple of classes, but I was back home for 10. And don't forget I'm an hour back home for 11. Don't forget I'm an hour in front of you. So I've had a nice chilled morning. Really, I've cleaned my fridge out, all that sort of stuff. Just making sure I don't look like a dog. You know how it is. So Hull City on Saturday, and of course Lewis Koumas will more than likely be playing for Hull City. He's on loan there from Liverpool. People are saying to us, all the time, why wasn't Koumas, why couldn't Blues get the best out of Koumas away? Hull are, because Hull haven't got as many good white players as us. If you ask yourself the question honestly, would you now, looking back then, we kept Koumas and aimed to sign him at the end of the season, or sent him back and bring in Carlos Vicente? Which one would you prefer? Because we don't need another two right wingers, do we? So if that's your choice, Vicente or Koumas, which one are you going to go for? I know the answer to that question. That's nothing to do with me liking or not liking Lewis Koumas as a player. I think he was quite a good player actually, but unfortunately he didn't really get much opportunity until the end. He scored against, can't remember who he scored against towards the end, right at the end. Jesus, that's going to annoy me now. Someone will tell me. Yeah, Dave Pegg saying Vicente all day, and I think everyone would agree with that. They're quite a big side. They play similar. Well, they play exactly the same setup as us. Koumas doesn't always start. He might start. So they play that 4-2-3-1. They're at home. They're going to be, the onus is on them to uh, to win the game because they need 3 points desperately to stay in the top six. But the way we've been playing, that slightly more direct. Well, when I say direct, when people take it, if you say direct, it means that we're going, we're playing like pick it up in the right back position, hoof it forward. It isn't like that. I mean, a conversation with someone on the group yesterday, and this is what annoys me when the understanding isn't there. Like a guy came on and said the way we play, I mean, what we should do when we go forward. Sometimes, there's no one at the back. Well, okay. So I responded by we play at 4-2-3-1. And yeah, it was Coventry, Paul. That's right. It was Coventry that we beat with Koumas's goal. We play a 4-2-3-1. So when we're in possession, usually it's well, not so much recently. With Wagner in the team, sometimes it's a left back that goes forward, and the three defenders remain at the back. So I explained this to him, and the guy says, "Yeah, but even like when one does go back, three at the backs go forward, three at the back's all right." But they push right up the pitch. So my answer is, well, if the team's attacking and we're playing against a low block, and you've got the whole of the opposition half is full of our players and their players, and we're trying to get through them, you want three players to stay in our half. And that's what annoys me. People just honestly don't understand, and it does annoy me because if you don't get it, just say so. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. But don't, what I don't like is people knocking comments, knocking a system that the club play, and specifically that our manager plays, that he doesn't really understand, and then he knocks it. Gone are the day, it's not like we're going to go forward, right, you three stay back, right, just stay on the edge of the box. Come on. And that, of course, is one of the things where it's one of the weaknesses of the possession game. You press forward, you press forward, you press forward, you put the press on the ball, and then so many people forward, suddenly. I mean, we always leave one on the halfway line, it's usually going to be Clara or Neumann. Then suddenly, like a long ball out of defence, and it might be a leg race for the ball, but you've got a head start because you're in your own half. That's one of the weaknesses. We've been scored against like that, but it happens. That doesn't mean when we go forward, we're gonna leave three at the back, leaving us with 7 outfield players against 10 outfield players in front of us. It doesn't make sense. Lee's asking us how it's all going. It's all going very well, mate. Thank you. I'm happy today. He's buzzing for you, mate. Scored. Buzzing for you, mate, Steve. Oh right, scored great. Andrew didn't even Vicente scored an absolutely beautiful goal. Can't believe iTunes into chatting blue. Some people on there meaning after beating Wrexham. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. Even after beating Wrexham, still people are complaining, which is fair. It's their option. Not everyone's going to be happy, are they? The Vicente display, and I think it's a really nice bit of understanding going on there between Vicente, Stansfield and Prisca. They look very, very good together. And in the whole of that game, now there's a couple of big lads that play for Wrexham. Prisca won more headers than anyone else in that game. He won 10 heading challenges, Prisca did. So it shows you how good he is when that ball does go high. Some of them would be in his defensive area, of course they would. Adrian turns out, Stu, great game on Sunday, well deserved, and we made Wrexham look substandard. Yeah, they didn't look very good, did they? He needs to stick with the same team so they can get better together. Neumann looked good again alongside Clara. They need to be number one pairing at the back. Yeah, I made the comment about Neumann on Monday. When he's left out a bit and he comes back, he looks really, really good for a few games. But then he looks sometimes, and what's happened before, his passing is very poor when he brings a ball out. So let's hope he tidies that part of the game up, because I did say, on Monday, how good I thought they looked together. Phil Neumann's a unit and he's very athletic. And hopefully he's getting a little bit more used to the English game now. Um, I think he struggled with it at first, but yeah, I mean, I still get the feeling that we're going to be buying a left-sided centre half in the end at the end of the season. Um, but like I was saying a little bit earlier, the reason I say that is because I know Chris Davis likes a left-footed, left-sided centre half. And of course, it does beg the question: why did we buy Newman? I understand that, but when you buy something, when when you buy a player going forward like that, which we did, we signed him in the January. I think that is the recruitment team making that signing, just quickly making it because they love the look of him and they can get him. Probably didn't check too much with Chris Davis on that one. Um, so hopefully Neumann, yeah, and I agree with you as well, Adrian, that a settled team is always a better team. I mean, look at how many changes we've had this season. We've had a lot of different changes, and most of them in that centre back pairing. I think we've had 8 or 9 pairings, so it isn't good. And I agree with you 100%. I hope, let's hope now we can keep a more settled team. If you're playing against certain opposition, then Roberts may be a better option um, on the right and Dimmy on the left. But we've got some lovely options, haven't we? Um, Lee's saying that people are muppets. Some of them are, mate. You know that. Paul James is saying the Wrexham fan club have been suspiciously quiet in the group since Sunday. Yeah, I mean we keep Paul is like being a little bit a little bit naughty there, calling the Wrexham fan club. But of course, we have got a certain amount of players, a certain amount of members in our group, loads of groups. Every group has them. That comes on and goes, oh, look at Wrexham, Wrexham, and that's all you hear, and you think, Jesus. The interesting thing is that for all this how absolutely brilliant Wrexham are, there are 4 games left, and we're 8 points behind them. It's not like we're at one end of the table and that at the other. They lose 2, we win 2, and we're together, really, aren't we? So, Wrexham in that. Listen, Wrexham were outplayed on Sunday. Phil Parkinson was out tacticked. I thought when he's bringing the subs on, I thought this might bring them back into the game. No way. Didn't let them back in. What I liked about Chris Davis, he didn't put too many subs on. He kept it pretty much the way it was. Obviously, the replacement of John Solis was done because he was on a card, and I thought Solis had an absolutely brilliant game first half. And then he had Paik on the bench, so what a great replacement. Paik, a different player altogether, of course, is a little bit more of a footballer than John Solis. But John Solis, he's got those really long legs and that Patrick Vieira touch about him. His ball playing needs to be a little bit better. Someone said yesterday, the thing with John Solis, he learns to learn how to play a long ball. It's not his game. His game is to break up play and to give someone the ball who can play the long ball. His game isn't, he's not a midfield ball player. He's a central midfield. He's a central defensive midfielder. That's what he is, and his game is to win the ball and to give it to someone who can then do something with it. And he generally does a good job of that. He's played, all season in La Liga, same as Vicente has. By the way, just remind people that Vicente did score against Real Madrid. It wasn't in a European Cup final. It wasn't in a Spanish Cup final. It was in a Spanish La Liga game. Just so people know, I mean, these things get elevated, don't they? Lee saying, don't knock Solis, he will murder you. He's a very, very good player, and he's a bit of an enforcer, and we like that at Blues. Yeah, a little bit of coffee with almond milk in for you there, son. With Hull City, it's a different kettle of fish. Whilst I'm absolutely certain they want the 3 points, probably more than Wrexham did. But I don't know. There's not much in it. Is there? They're 4 points clear of Wrexham at the moment. If they win on Saturday, gives them that breathing space. But I think, they will be going all out to beat us. that means we're going to have some room. So that points at an unchanged team for me. You know, we want the footballers on the pitch. I mean, that press on Sunday was murderous, wasn't it? It really was. Relentless. And Prisk, it's a hard thing to say. Priska can press. He can. He's very, very good at it. Dave's saying, I'd like to see Osman back next season too. Causes chaos in his day and still raw. I'm hoping not too many outgoings or incomings during the summer. We need to get some need to go, that's for sure. We need a settled unit. We have too many changes across the board this season, especially January. Well, we had a lot more in the summer actually, Dave. We best stick with Chris Davis next season. Oh, that's Adrian, I'm sorry. I thought that was Dave Pegg. I agree, Steve. Getting 90 minutes. Good to be building, yeah. Sorry, Paul James. How much do you think it will cost? Yeah, we're talking about Solis, aren't we? I think it's in the region of 6 million. We're not going to know. The club never discloses what we pay. So I guess I've been told, but I never take that. You know, I mean, I always ask the people where they got it from, and they don't really know. So I reckon it's 6 to 7 million, and I think it's a very, very good deal. Personally, we're talking about Osman. Adrian was the thing with Osman is that he is on a loan from Leicester City, and now it depends when Leicester City go down. Are they going to want to cash Osman in? The asking price for Osman is 20 million. So that might be one that they want to get a money return on. I would love to get him in on another year, a season-long loan. We ain't going to buy Osman, not at that sort of money. Unfortunately, he's a little bit out of our league and out of our, you know, we can't spend that much money. But this is some player in it, you know, he really is good. He's just got better and better as the season's gone on. Well, since January. When he first came, I was a little bit, sorry, not January. January. When he first came, I was a little bit like, he seemed to go down a lot, you know, slipping a lot. Perhaps his stud length was wrong for a few games, I don't know. But as he's adapted himself to the game, he's got better and better. He's got a lot more confidence. I love his tracking back. He can tackle. He understands. He plays really, really well with Wagner as well. Those two make a great team. And Wagner, apparently, from what Osman was saying, is Wagner gives him a lot of assistance in terms of positioning where he wants him. And that's what you expect from a senior fullback, telling a young left winger how to defend, and I think that's really good. Lee Harvey saying he's gutted Osman didn't score from that cross. It was behind him to head. It was behind. Yeah, he's had a bit of bad luck, Osman, hasn't he? Like the week before, he hit the post. Last week when we were at Ipswich and the ball apparently went out, you know, and he would have got the assist for that, but he's a very, very good footballer. And he's saying no chance for that price. We can't spend 20 million on a player in this close out season. So that's not going to happen. I mean, you could think, you know, let's hope Leicester stay up, but do we want them to stay up? Because if they stay up, then they may be one of the teams that are going to threaten next season, or do we? And only want them to stay up so they'll loan us Osman for another season. But there's other great players out there, you know, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, but I would love to see him back at the Blues. Dave saying it's great to see most of the team playing the full 90. It helps you understand. You know, I totally agree with that. What I don't like seeing is, and Chris tends to do it a lot, on like between 65 and 75, we get five subs, and we don't. It does change the whole way we play, and it takes away uh, it sort of takes away the fabric of that particular game. So if we're playing quite well and there's 20 minutes left and we're winning 1-0, when we change, when we bring 5 players on and tweak the system a bit, then we're playing a completely different way, and that's often when we give away silly goals. Lee is saying, definitely Steve, Spurs at home next year. I'd love to see Spurs come down. I really would. Will saying, who was your man of the match against Wrexham? For me, if you're asking me, Bill, man of the match for me, yeah, it's a difficult one, really. You could go for Clara, of course. Um, I don't know what. Let's see what other people say. I'd like to know. But my choice, I think, would have to be with Carlos Vicente. I don't often. I don't know. You know, when Sky do that thing, I mean, he apparently won it on the Sky. He won the Sky Man of the Match. I didn't watch the game on Sky. I watched the Blues commentary on it. Um, but I'd have to say Vicente. But they both played brilliantly, and they both scored, didn't they? So usually, if they both play brilliant, one of them scores, then he's the one that gets the man of the match. Lee Harvey saying captain the Terminator. They are the only thing I would worry about with us next season with Neumann and Clara is neither of them are really like footballing centre halves. I think it's nice to have one if we have one. It's at our level, it's not the end of the world if we've got 2 beasts in the middle, but we have to have proper cover, and I think with John Solis we've got really good cover, so I'm not too worried about that. Going back to what we were saying earlier, Billy saying his choice would be Clara. Both played really well, not much in it. Going back to, I think, what Dave said, you know, not too many changes in the summer. I don't think we're going to be able to have too many changes, because it's not going to be like 9 in, 10 in like it was for the last 2 windows. But I think Chris Davis made the comment about having 6 in and 6 out, and that I think is a really, really good plan. We need to remove 6 if we can, because there's 6 players that aren't really playing, they're probably earning decent money. We don't know what anyone earns, it's all speculation. But you can guess that the likes of Kyogo are going to be on good money, aren't they? You know, Dux is definitely, I would say, on good money. We bought him at the age of 28 with the contract to finish his career, really, or more or less. So that one, we might have dodged a bullet there. You know, so we've got players that we could let go. Kanya is going to be earning a decent wage. He was quite well considered to be a formidable number 10. Unfortunately, he hasn't really done that for us. So you can think of the players we can let go. I mean, Asai Samuel played really, really well. Is he one we want to keep? Would we let someone like Iwata go and get like a ball playing number 10 as well? I don't know. You tell me what you think we need. Adrian's saying Kiefer Moore didn't get a kick against Clara and Neumann. It was a good display. It was. Kiefer Moore got a bit rough as well at times. You know, I mean, he's pulling the shirt, he was doing everything. But I think the other one that we have to mention in that respect is Priska, who was up against 2 very experienced centre backs. You know, one of them being Dan Scarr, and he didn't give any quarter at all. He battled with them, and I think sometimes, you know, I mean, they were climbing all over him, weren't they? He's a big lad, and I don't think he got the right protection from the ref in that game. Just my opinion. At least saying what a clown the duck is drunk driving. You know, to bring that up again with ducks, you know, it's unfortunate. You know, it really is unfortunate, and we don't. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. You know, he's been stupid. He's a role model. He's brought the club into disrepute. Disrepute. His future's in the club's hands now. They can cancel his contract if they want to. He's 28. He's not going to go anywhere of substance, I wouldn't think. But you know, we don't know. Emma is on, Emma Miller. So I was talking about our podcast on Monday, on Sunday morning, on the Zoom platform, which we're doing this week. It's going to be myself and Pete and Emma Miller. Well, Emma's on the group now. She's in the chat if anyone wants to say hello to her. Emma is the great niece of Jeff Hall. So Emma's one of two remaining Halls, and Emma is one. Her other one is her young daughter Tabitha, who is a real blues fan. They live in Yorkshire, so they're not actual Brummies, but they sort of are. You know, they're a bit of like Brummie royalty, aren't they? So it's lovely to have. I've been having a lot of Emma and I have been talking a lot this week and getting to know each other and understanding the situation she's in with Jeff, being her uncle. We've got a few things that we want to try and sort out. I did mention it earlier that we want to try and get the Jeff Hall memorial clock went missing when the ground was taken to pieces. You remember the big square clock with the wrought iron around it? It went missing, and so it's a quest for us to find that clock and get it back to its rightful owners, really, which is blues. You know, I mean, we'd like that in the museum. It doesn't want to be in anyone else's possession. So we've been in touch with the club and we're trying to sort something out. We've got a few little ideas where it might be, so we'll leave that there for now. But hopefully, you know, everything comes good. A few other things we want to discuss as well, probably on Sunday, and we'll see how that goes. Paul James saying hello to Emma. Paul's one of our moderators, of course, and has probably spoken to Emma before, I guess. Paul, have you? Lee saying, Steve, what's going on with the new site? It's a little bit, it's at that stage now, Lee, I think, where the planning permission has to be granted. I think that's only a formality because of the money that we've been granted by the council. Something I'm not sure if you're all aware of how the actual build is going to be made, and it could well be happening now, is the build is actually being done away from the site. So what they do is they make it, say, you know, in a big area somewhere, they build it in chunks. So these chunks that they build are then able to be put onto huge articulated lorries, and they're carried into the site when it's ready, when they're ready for each part. So it's like a huge Lego. So when the foundations are in there, and they've dug the foundations out, and oh, sorry, mate. Your site, that lad was sorted. I'm sorry, Lee. The website, I thought he was talking about the ground. Anyway, I'll carry on with the ground. They're going to build sections of it and bring it in and put them into in situ as and when it's complete. So you won't see a lot of building going on. You'll see fixing going on. But anyway, it's a little bit beyond me. But I'm looking forward to that. Our website is we've actually just been laid back a little bit. We've had a few little issues with it. As a bit of an afterthought, I thought it would be nice for us to get AI involved in the website, and so we did actually put it live about a week ago and wasn't really happy with it. So I went back to the website designer and had a little chat about AI. He said didn't think it was a possibility for us to get AI involved, and then a couple of days later he came back. He said he's been away. He's rebuilt some of the site, and we are actually going to be able to use AI now. So I'm really looking forward to that. I use AI quite a lot, and it can do an awful lot of work for you on the website when bringing stuff up to date, and when you're trying to do articles and things, you don't have to do all the writing yourself, which is a big. It sort of loses the skill of the author, you know, but it's a massive help when you're the person that's got to do it. You know, you've got to write a piece and you've got like an hour to do it or something, which is what happens sometimes, and you know, it ends up not being particularly good or whatever, you know. But I'm looking forward to seeing the website built, and of course the new ground, because that's going to be brilliant. Imagine driving your car down the M42 and you overtake one of the chimneys. It's possible, isn't it? This is my magnesium and collagen. I was telling you about it a few weeks ago. Uh, I've done. Yeah, I did 3 hours of classes yesterday. 3 hours back to back from 7 a.m. till 10, and then I had two PT clients. I was absolutely on my arse by the time I finished. So today I've had a nice, easy one. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the day today. I'm going to chill a little bit. I've just cleaned my fridge. I told you I've got my daughter arriving tomorrow with my ex-missus, so I've got to make sure my house is clean, haven't I? So that'll be nice. Coming for 10 days, and it's my birthday and all that. So I'm looking forward to that. Lee Harvey's saying, what are we all thinking for Saturday full game? You know what I'm like. I always think we're going to win. I don't think I fancy us. I just seen Emma Miller's little post there. Said us Halls will always be forever Blues. You know that Jeff Hall's family they're all Blues fans. You know, so of course they're like, listen, they're Brummies, aren't they? Really, to us they are. And when she needs to get that clock back, we're going to get it back one way or another, aren't we? Saturday's game, going back to that. Hull have got to come out. They've got to get 3 points. They need them desperately. So for them to get 3 points, they've got to come at us. So providing that team of Clara and Neumann remain strong, providing we have Wagner on the left, and I don't know. You know, I personally think that for this game, Asai Samuel might be better on the right. Give us that slightly more defensive look than Laird. And then, of course, we've always got Laird to bring on if we need to. I'd like to see an unchanged team, really. John Solis with Iwata, or it will probably be with Paik as the DMs. And then I don't see how we can change Osman and Vicente. They are absolutely brilliant. And then Prisker and Stansfield. That's how I would set up on Saturday. So Lee's saying what we're all thinking for that. So what you say, God, that'd be interesting, Steve. You're coming over. Well, I'll come out if you mean for the new ground. Yeah, if I'm still alive, I'll come over. Like, you know. My spiritual home is always going to be St Andrews. I love you know, it's my spiritual home, St Andrews. I think it's the Blues' spiritual home for my generation. For a new generation, it might be that the powerhouse is going to be the one. Talking of older generations, Harry Parker's on. How you doing, Harry? Win, lose or draw, Saturday's going to be a cracker. I see us winning a high-scoring game. He's got every chance at us, Harry. Harry, just to let you know, Emma Miller is on if she's still listening. I believe, Harry, you've seen Jeff Hall play, haven't you? I believe, but you said you can't remember him. I think it's like saying you don't remember Trevor Francis, mate. What's going on? I've never seen him play. It was before my time. But I have got the replica shirt with the oh sorry, Lee Harvey, your wife. I know. Yeah, so my ex-wife's coming over tomorrow, staying in my house with my daughter, and it's all good. You know, it'll be fine. It's good. We go on all right, actually. Go on better now probably than we did then. We was only kids, you know what it's like. Uh, Yeah, so on Sunday for the actual Zoom meeting, I might wear my Jeff Hall replica shirt. I've got like one of the old, you know, the one with the big sewn on uh, Birmingham coat of arms, that big badge. I've got one of those, but I don't know if it suits me that much. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, anyway, we'll go past that. Um, Yeah, so a lot coming up for us. Might do a little podcast on Friday if I get the opportunity. Like I said, I got family here, but I hope I can do an hour. Would do a Hull City preview. Harry Parker said, I don't remember seeing him play. My first game was in '62. No, unfortunately, Harry, Jeff died in '58, I think, so didn't miss him by much. Emma, if anyone saw my uncle play, please get in touch with Steve. Yeah, any of you, or if you know anyone that's seen Jeff play. I mean, oh God, I wish I had. I've seen Emma sent me a little bit of footage of him on a Pathé, on a bit of Pathé film from him playing for England against Denmark, and it was absolutely fascinating to see. You know, and I've seen some of his shirts, and you know, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it is this, you know, that Jeff Orr was on the TIFO a few weeks ago. As you looked at the TIFO, Jeff was on the right hand side, the second one in. So I mean, that was an absolutely brilliant TIFO, wasn't it? The legends, and there was Jeff, and what a proud moment for Emma that was. Paul's asking us any news emerged about the clock yet. We do know we have got some news on the clock, Paul, but we're going to like just. I emailed the club this morning, and we're going to see what comes out of that. I actually spoke to Jeremy. Well, I emailed Jeremy Dahl about it, and I've been in touch with Emma, and we're all like working together at the moment to try and get the clock back where it belongs, and hopefully that's where it's going to end up pretty soon. Dave Peggy's saying his dad saw Jeff play. Sadly, Daddy's no longer with us, but I can remember him telling us that he was the best player Blues ever had. It's always really hard, like to say a player, you know, a best player that we've ever had. It would be easy, I think, to say he was probably the best defender we ever had. It'd be like saying Francis is the best forward we've ever had, you know. So he's an absolute, and I've never seen him, but you know, to me, he sounds an absolute class act. And when you get that TIFO with 4 people in it, and your uncle's one of them, you've got to be really proud, haven't you? That's a 150-year history, you know, absolutely brilliant, and can't wait. Well, can't wait to have a little chat with them. I mean, Jesus, we've spoken a lot as it is, but we'll be speaking live on Sunday, and that'll be really good. Yeah, Paul, hopefully we're going to get something done. You know, Jeremy Dale is Blues through and through. You know, one thing you can say about Jeremy is that he is a Brummie, and he's going to be we know that at some point, Dave, I know it was before, but you get the point I'm making. You know, you could say Trevor Francis is the best forward you ever had, but could you say he was the best player we've ever had? When you can't compare a striker with a right back, that's the point I'm making, you know. So yeah, of course he was before Trevor. He was like 20, 30 years, 25 years before Trevor. But going back to Paul and the clock and a few other things, Em's had a bit of a raw deal on really, and we're going to try and get all of those things sorted with her and with the club's help and with a few other people's help and a few people understanding stuff and a few people, you know, putting hands up and saying I did something wrong, you know, something like that. But I know that no one would do anything to, you know, if anything has happened that's wrong, it's been done without thought, not with malice, I would like to think. Well, definitely not with malice, you know. And there's a lot of people listening to me now who was at St Andrews on that fateful day. I think it was Bristol City at St Andrews, the last game ever played with the old Cop and the Jeff Orr Memorial Scoreboard. And some of you would have taken crash barriers home, some of you would have taken chunks of the pitch, some of you might have got letters off the scoreboard. And I dare say if the clock had been hanging round by where you were, sitting by your feet, you'd have probably took it home with you, you know. And who am I to say I wouldn't have, you know, I was a kid and it's different. You think differently, don't you? I wasn't a kid, but you know what I mean. But anyway, let's hope we get it all sorted out. So, yeah, Saturday, wouldn't it be great if we could win the last 4 games? This one Saturday is the last of the really hard ones, I think. The rest of the games are all winnable. I think all 4 are all winnable. Wouldn't it be brilliant to go out winning those 4, get Chris Davies back, smiling again, which is what we all love to see, and just get behind the team. Emma's come on and saying thank you. There have been many brilliant players from Blues. Tabitha and I are incredibly proud of Uncle Jeff. We have his photo all over our house. Steve will tell you that Tabitha looks just like him too. She does as well. Honestly, like, you can see a real family resemblance, and I seen a photo of her on Saturday just after we'd won, and she looked happy, didn't she? She's a beautiful little girl, and I'm sure Jeff will be really proud of her. And there's a lot of younger people now that are Blues supporters that live in the area. To have one that lives in Yorkshire and is related to a world famous ex-Blues footballer, I'm not going to call him an ex-Blues footballer, a Blues footballer, and England international, is absolutely brilliant. Lee is saying, win all 4, Steve, and some fans will still moan. Of course they will. We know what they're like, don't we? But someone was saying this morning that, you get this sarcasm on the group. Someone put something on saying, how come I can't make a comment on some of the posts? And what he'd done was he'd been trying to post onto a comment where the comments were turned off. And so Emma put on, it's possible the comments have been turned off. And then you get people coming on, oh, you can't say what you want in this bloody group, unless you kiss their backside. And then somebody else, you be careful what you say, because, you can guess what's going to happen. So I just put a post to say, listen, right, the group is managed properly for everyone's benefit. We have 13-year-olds on our group, right? Well, they shouldn't be on here. They should. Facebook has got a bottom ceiling of 13. I don't want 13-year-olds coming across some of the rubbish that some people put onto our group, right? You want to have potty mouth like that, go and do it in another group, not in ours. You have to have a little bit of responsibility, and we do for the group as well, and for the players, and for the manager. Don't forget, one of our big stances is a stance against social media bullying, and we look after people's mental health. That's how it's going to stay. It doesn't matter how many people complain. And when you get people complaining and making sarcastic comments, I'm glad, because I guarantee you it's one of those that's going to be the next one that goes out the door, because they can't stop themselves. I just wait there, when they make that comment, they're gone. Lisa, well said, Steve. I forget sometimes. You can't help it sometimes. Listen, we live in a society where really swearing is sort of part of the language, isn't it? Really, it is a societal issue, but you just have to try, and you don't have to be too blatant with what you say. Dave Peggy's saying, don't forget that we are a cult. Well, yeah. Dave's saying there, don't forget we're a cult. We've been our group has been called a cult many times. Yes, cult, and with an L, and also you've seen photos of me in a Nazi uniform, haven't you, in some of the other groups? I like a bit of Hugo Boss, but not the SS uniform. Listen, guys, it's been a really interesting and fun 50 minutes. It's the earliest one I've done this, I think. We'll have to do them a little bit earlier again in future, because it's quite nice. It's quite nice to be up this early, finish it, and still have a day ahead of me. We got 71 comments, which we know we've still got 30 room for 30 left. But thank you for joining me this morning. Friday I'll be on again at some point to do a preview of Hull City. I'll bring you a little update about the Emma situation as well. If we get any news, we'll pass it on. But if alternatively we get any news, we might wait until Sunday and you can catch up with us there. Thanks, Lee. but yeah. All right, guys. So thank you for coming on this morning. Thank you to everyone. There we go. Look, Up the Blues. That's my latest one. Look, the very top one. Forever True. Right by the BCFC badge. And I've just got a little bit more filling up to go on here, and then that's my arm complete. Except I've got a little bit around the Bex one there. But yeah, got nearly my full arm done now, so I'm happy. I'll be happy when that's completed, another few months. So Lee, be lucky all, been a good one, Steve. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Emma, thank you for popping in and seeing us. Paul, thanks for popping on and doing a bit of moderation while you're here. And guys, have an absolutely fabulous afternoon. And I'm going to go enjoy a bit of sunshine now. Look after yourselves. Keep right on, guys. Thank you.